Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. We are so excited to have you all here, and we hope you are so excited to learn all about video marketing. So we have a lot to cover. We are not going to dilly-dally. We are going to jump right in and get started talking about how you can use video to connect with prospects and clients. And I have to say, I think this is one of our highest registration numbers we've ever had in terms of people signed up. And that's just a testament to a lot of you have wanted to get into video for a long time and have been hesitant to do it. And now COVID has really, put the gas pedal down for a lot of people saying, all right, I got to do this. I got to figure out how to do it because things are not going to return 100% to normal for a long time. But we're happy that you're all here and are ready to learn. So just to introduce ourselves, for those of you who may have not joined us before, I'm Samantha Russell. I'm the Chief Marketing and Business Development Officer here at 20 Over 10. And every single week you will find my face on a video myself that we post to our company YouTube channel and all of our social accounts. And joining me is Amanda Larson, our Director of Marketing, who does everything behind the scenes to make our marketing machine run. Do you want to say hi, Amanda?
Hey, everyone. It's good to see some familiar names on here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Amanda. I'm the Director of Marketing here at 20 Over 10. So I kind of straddle the line between marketing the brand, so managing our social media, email marketing, blogs, editorial calendars, and then I do work with clients as well on their SEO efforts, their social media efforts, and all that good stuff too. So I'm excited to be here. I'm usually behind the scenes. So.
Typically, Amanda's 100% behind the scenes. I've pulled her out to be front and center in front of all of you. And so she is going to be manning the chat box. So for those of you who've never jumped on our webinars before, you can ask questions for only Amanda and I to see in the Q&A, or you can ask questions or leave comments that everyone can see in the chat box. Yes, this is being recorded. So if you need to leave, you need to take a phone call, you will get the recording sent to you. With that, we want to launch a quick poll so that we can make sure that we are going to spend the most time on the areas that are most important to you. So we want you to choose, please don't choose all four, choose maybe like your top one or two items that you most want us to chat about, right? So these are in order of how the process works, from shooting the video to editing the video to getting your YouTube channel set up. And yes, we are going to focus on YouTube today. I know there's other platforms and we'll talk about why YouTube, but we're going to focus on YouTube, and then how to promote that video or share it to get the most bang for your buck. And then the ads is the last option. So we'll give everybody another second or two. I see about 70% of you have voted. Thank you for taking time to do that. I can see that a lot of you are choosing more than one option. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3 and then we'll be done. 3, 2, and 1. All right. So it looks like shooting the video is by far the most requested topic, with editing the video in second place, and then kind of going down the line, how to set up YouTube and then sharing. I'm glad you didn't all vote for ads because we weren't planning to spend a lot of time on ads, but we wanted to see how much interest there was about ads, because that's something we would, we've talked about doing a webinar on that in a couple months. So maybe get a lot of you just started with video marketing now, and then after you've got some video created, doing a webinar on ads and boosting your posts through paid ads. So if that's something you'd be interested in, either raise your hand or drop a comment in the chat so that we know how many of you would be interested in a webinar just on ads and paid advertising strategies. All right, so with that, let's get started talking about what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share my screen, and Amanda, just let me know once you can see that. Really good.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, great. So again, just in order of exactly what we went through on the poll today, we are going to start by talking about shooting video and recording on a budget. Then we'll talk about adding captions, editing the video, getting your transcripts, Then we'll move on to talking about YouTube and then how to share it. And all of you who are currently a website owner or using landing pages, one of the things we see as a real big missed opportunity is people creating video and then not embedding the video into their blogs or embedding them on landing pages so they can collect leads off those videos. So do not leave early, or if you need to leave early, make sure you watch to the end, because at the end, we're going to show you how to embed the video into landing pages or your website so you can actually collect leads off these videos that you're spending all this time to create. So that's probably the most important part there at the end. Okay, so before we dive into the how-to, I just want to share a quick success story. So I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, Scribner, I think, but Ryan Scribner is someone on YouTube that I thought was a great example just to share with all of you of how you can record video very, very economically friendly, just using your smartphone, and create a whole YouTube channel off of it. So if you go to Ryan's YouTube channel, Amanda can pop the link in the chat for us, you will see, especially if you scroll back a couple years ago, he just got started in 2017 and he was recording videos. I think the very first video on his channel is him in his car, just holding the video camera. And he's very focused on personal finance and particularly stocks. But in just 3 years' time, he grew his channel to 625,000 subscribers. Real young guy. And one of the key things that the reason I chose him is because he does not have high production quality videos. The videos that he's recording today don't look that drastically different than the videos he was recording a couple years ago. The thing that has helped him grow is he's hyper specific on his content. All the content on his channel is about investments. So whatever it is that you want to create video on, try to be as specific as possible. That's going to be your best way to grow and to become known in a particular area, is to be hyper focused on one key topic or point, right? For our YouTube channel here at 20 over 10, which if you don't follow us, we will make sure we drop the link in there now, and you should all subscribe, because every single Monday we drop a quick video, just 2 to 4 minutes, that will allow you to become a better marketer, a better way to, manage your own marketing as a financial advisor. So Amanda just—
Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome.
Whoopsie. Amanda just dropped the link in here of Ryan's video channel, and here it is. And we'll go through what makes a good channel here in a second. But the 20 over 10 channel is right here. So it's just 20 over 10 is our channel, and you can go ahead and subscribe and you will see all of the great content that we have. Okay. So let's talk about recording video. The very first thing that I want to address are some of the myths that we hear all the time. Number one, that if you want to record video, it's too time consuming. You can block off on your calendar just 30 minutes once a week to record video that you need to get going. That's how I do it every single Monday morning. I have time blocked off to record video. It's complicated. No, it is not. You see this sweet little device right here? This is what I use to record all of the videos that you see. So it is a Ring camera. Actually, maybe you can't see that good. So at the top here, this is a light. I'm sorry, a ring light. So at the top here is a light that can shine to make lighting a little bit better. And right here is where it will hold your iPhone so that you can prop it up anywhere. And you can see that there are some legs here at the bottom so that I can heighten it, and to drop the height of the different sizes, it can slide up and down. It's very, very, very easy to use. So it's not complicated to get started. We actually did a study back in 2019, and we found that advisors that were getting 11 or more clients per year from digital marketing were most likely using video in some way. So those at the very top of the funnel were really using video. So let's dive in a little bit more into how you want to record the video, since that's something that is super interesting to all of you. So here is our actual process. We're going to share our process with you. Of course, you can refine it for your own purposes, but this works really well and it's not complicated. So every week I record the video and upload it to our private YouTube channel. Then our intern goes into our YouTube channel and she optimizes the video for SEO and begins the transcription process. Now, when we say I upload the video, you can have the YouTube app on your phone. So I record the video on my phone. I'll use my phone's in-app editing. So you know when you click on a video, there's a little button that says edit, and you can chop off the end or the beginning. So I chop off the part of me pressing the record button and pausing the record button at the end so that it's just me talking, right? So that's all I do to edit it. And then I go into the YouTube app and I hit the upload button and I upload that very YouTube video that very video I just created to our YouTube channel. I set it to private. So that's a really crucial component too. So by setting it to private now, the only people that can see it are those who have access to the backend admin of our channel. Amanda, do you want to explain the difference between some of the settings that there are in YouTube too? Because I know people have asked about the difference between private versus having a link that anyone with the link can see.
Right. Yeah, so there's a few options, and YouTube actually just came out with a new scheduled option as well. So if you're working on a team kind of like we are, where you have an intern or an admin or someone, you know, taking on some of the responsibility, you can also schedule your videos to go live at a future date, which is really nice. You know, if you have a planned days, like every Tuesday, you're going to put out a tip, you know, you can have them scheduled to go out every Tuesday. But where you see what Sam has, private, unlisted, and public are the three options. So public, obviously anybody can see that on your channel, or it can come up in searches as well. Private means no one will be able to see it except for anyone who has admin access to your YouTube channel. So that's what Samantha does every Tuesday before our internal team gets it ready to go public the following Monday. And then unlisted means only people with the unique link are going to be able to view the video. So it won't be public facing on your channel. It'll kind of be hidden. It won't be searchable, but if anyone has the link, they'll be able to view the video.
Yeah, so sometimes we'll use that option. If we record a private webinar for like a broker dealer partner of ours, we'll use that option so that the video is uploaded, but only those who have the link can see it. So that's a great way. Or if you want to gate a video, so you want to record a video, but you only want clients to see it and not prospects, that's another great option to do it that way. And then this is the scheduling option that Amanda just talked about. So we can start being proactive, although I'm not that good about this. You could record 4 videos in advance at the beginning of the month and schedule them out of when you want them to go live. And you should pay attention to when you decide to release them. You know, for a while there, we were publishing our videos on Fridays because that's when our intern was going in and getting them all set up. And when she would do that, we weren't getting as good of views having them go live on a Friday as we were when we switched it to a Sunday or a Monday. So play around with when you actually make the video go from private to public. And see what kind of analytics that you get. Amanda, if you want to address and put a new link in about the ring light, I guess some people are saying that link isn't working.
Okay.
What I'm in right now, and we'll get into this a little bit more in just a second, is YouTube Studio. And this is free. So once you have a YouTube account, YouTube Studio is where you go in to do all your editing and all that, which we'll get into here in just a second. But let's go back to that process. So remember, I'm recording the video on my phone. I'm going to upload it and set it to private. Our intern goes in and she's going to optimize it, which we'll get into again in a minute and show you how to do that. And then she goes into Canva, which is a free tool, C-A-N-V-A, and just creates a little thumbnail. So thumbnails are really crucial to the success of your YouTube videos and getting people to click on them. It just makes them look really professional. So you want to have a nice thumbnail, and we'll talk about that again in a second, but she adds those. And then once that's all done, we take, you know, the little thumbnail or the video itself, and we queue it up, getting ready to be shared out on social media. So using a social media scheduler is really imperative so that you know that your video will go up when you want it to. And then on Mondays, the video goes public. So that's the process that we follow. But in terms of how do you actually record the video, a lot of you still have questions about that, right? So here are just a couple of quick tips that I'm going to show you, and I've never done it this way before, so let's all bear with each other. Let me find, here we go. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to actually show you something. So you see where I'm sitting right now. I have this horrible orange wall in my office that I need to paint. We're in a new building that we're taking over, but I don't ever record videos, for instance, with that orange wall behind me because it's harsh on the eyes and not great. I have this little bookcase back here that I've sort of set up with some props and things like that. And so when I record my videos, I'll usually stand over here, and I do them first thing in the morning when the sun is at a nice level for me and the light coming from behind the window is better. So you want to find a really great light source that is going to illuminate your face the best. And you kind of have to play around with it. So what I'll do is put my phone on this Ring camera right here, and I'll walk around and find the best light source and then sit there. So the light should be coming from behind your recording device, whether it's your laptop, if you're going to use Zoom or Loom, or behind, you know, your setup here. So you want the light to be coming from behind your camera to illuminate your face. That is always going to be the best possible lighting you can get, is that natural lighting. Now, the light isn't always great like that every single day. So some days you will want to use, you know, something like this. This is honestly not that great of a ring light, and this is not the one that we're linking because I actually almost never use this light. I'm going to get a new one. If you're looking for a much more professional setup, if you live somewhere cloudy and you don't normally get good lighting, Bill Winterberg did a really great post for Michael Kitcey's blog recently where he linked all the supplies you could want at different price points for a more professional setup. But again, I'm sharing with you our process and what we do and trying to make it as uncomplicated for you as possible. So all I truly do is find good lighting and prop my camera up like I showed you on this little device so that I can see it. Now, in terms of once you get started recording, so again, the light's going to be hitting your face if you're using your phone. I cannot stress this enough. Do not write out a script and read off the script. It's going to sound robotic. It's not going to sound personable or warm, and it's not going to come across good. So instead, what you can do is have right behind wherever your eyes are some key talking points that you want to summarize. So for instance, if your video is 5 tips for first-time home buyers in Phoenix, Arizona, then you could have what those 5 tips are that you're going to cover. So practice it a couple times and then start recording. And if you slip up and you say, you know, or you say the wrong word, you don't need to restart all over all of the time. You can go past it. You'll know once you get into a good groove whether it's a good video or not, but you can sound off the cuff, and that's going to just make the video more real and authentic. And what I mean about putting the you know, the script or the words right behind you. So for instance, for myself, I have a cork board right behind me that I'm staring at right now. And so my camera, when I'm looking at all of you, is right there, and the cork board's right behind it. So I can see those points right behind my eye level. So that's another tip. The last tip for actually recording is you want to be somewhere that's pretty soundproof. So you don't want to be recording in a big open space where the sound is going to reverberate. That's why actually car videos often sound so great, because the car creates this little nice sound studio. So I've seen a lot of people use the car in a pinch, and I've done that myself as well. So again, you want the lighting to be behind your camera. You don't want to talk on a script, just write out those couple of key points and make sure that the sound is good. You also want to avoid anything that's going to be super distracting. So wearing a really obnoxious print on your shirt or having a super distracting background, right? You want to keep it pretty clean and easy for people to pay attention to you. Now, if you are recording on your camera, one thing to note is if you record it this way, which is what I recommend so that you can upload it to YouTube, so you're going to record it in the horizontal, not the vertical setting, you don't want to stare at yourself. So if you have the camera here, right, and I'm looking at myself while I'm recording, you don't want to stare in the middle of your camera, because your eyes will look like they're going to the left or the right. You actually want to stare right where the camera is. So this can take a little bit getting used to, but make sure you're looking at where the actual camera is located on the device while you're recording. Okay, so how about once you actually start recording the video? Quick tip, I'll share my screen again for this one, and then I see a bunch of questions coming in, so we can take some of those. Here we go. So we just talked about those. Okay. You want to use, when you're starting your video and you want to hook people in the first 15 seconds. So YouTube, if you want to get your videos ranking well in their algorithm, if you want to get more people watching your videos, people will decide between the first 8 to 15 seconds whether they want to keep watching your video. So you do not have a lot of time. So here's what I see people do all the time that's a big mistake. They'll say, hi everyone, so today in my video I'm going to talk about this, and it's really important because, and their intro just goes on and on and on, right? You lose people. That is not the good way to have an intro. Instead, you want to say something like, today I'm going to tell you the 5 biggest mistakes that we see pre-retirees make, and then I'm going to talk with you about how you can make sure you're not making them while you're planning for your own retirement. So you're just stating right out of the gate exactly what you're going to teach them. And we call this the PPP formula. So preview what it is you're going to talk about, offer some sort of proof, and then reinforce that preview again. So in the example I just gave, I would just need to add one more line at the end there to re-preview it. So today we're going to talk about 5 of the biggest mistakes we see pre-retirees make, how you can avoid making those mistakes. And again, if you stick around to the very end, you'll have 5 tips that you can avoid making as you prepare for retirement. So I've previewed it, offered proof. So proof would be either that you've used this strategy or you've worked with someone else to use this strategy. So if I was talking about growing a YouTube channel, I could say, today I want to share with you 10 ways you can build more subscribers. These are actual tips and tricks that we've used to grow our own channel here at 20 over 10 to over 600 subscribers. And if you employ these strategies, you can grow your own channel 3 times faster, right? So you're providing a preview, giving proof, and then the preview again. That's a really important way to hook people at the beginning of the video. Tell them why it's worth their time to watch. You can also try hooking with a story or a stat. So something like, did you know that most people only watch the first 8 seconds of a video before deciding whether or not to keep watching, right? So you can use a stat or a story, but you always want to come back to why it's important or what you're going to teach them that's relevant and worthwhile for them to watch. Okay, Amanda, I know you're manning the chat. Are there some questions that we should address now?
I'm trying to get to everyone's questions. There's some good questions about how do you even choose, the topics, what your content's going to be. Are they, lined up, or where do they come from?
Okay, sure. So the top tip that I can give for that is to think about the questions that you are answering all of the time with clients or new prospects. So I keep an Evernote. Evernote's just a note-taking app on my computer. And every time we get an email, Amanda forwards them to me all the time into the marketing at 20 over 10 email or the marketing at Lead Pilot email account. Everything from how do I take a screenshot? That was an email we got the other day, right? We were telling people, here's, you want to use screenshots for great visuals, and people didn't know how to take a screenshot. That's something simple that we can create a quick blog post or a video on. And we write all of them down in Evernote, and then we decide, which of them would make really great video content. Typically, the video content that you want to create, again, should all flow nicely together. But if your clients or your prospects are asking you these questions, that means other people like them have the same or similar questions. So it's the same way that you would create any other kind of content. Does it lend itself to a video, though, is a question you should keep in mind. So what makes a good long form blog post doesn't always make a good video. And there's really 2 kinds of videos that you can create, which is a good segue to this next slide that I just want to share. And the first one, can you see that, Amanda?
Yep.
Okay. The first one would be using Zoom or Loom. So a lot of you have been using Zoom for video conferencing calls. You can actually use Zoom to do webinars as well, and then keep a replay of the webinar, just like we're doing today, which we're going to send to all of you as video content that you can repurpose. So you can create little clips of those segments. Let's say you have an hour-long webinar all about capital gains taxes. You could create little snippets. You can edit the video and have, little 2-minute snippets of advice that you then share on social media and say to watch the rest of the video from the webinar we gave on capital gains tax strategies, here's the link, and send them to your YouTube channel, right? So you can use Zoom for webinars. There's another tool called Loom, which is what you see in this little box here as a preview. So Loom allows you to share your screen and record your screen while also recording your face at the same time. And you can have both going simultaneously so that you can be talking and someone can see you, but you can also be, sharing something on your screen. So these Zoom and Loom are best for longer form content, right? More than 4 minutes, things that are a little bit more technical or that you need to go through and show them your screen for. If you want to share a talking head video, which is what I was just going through all the steps of recording earlier, and these often are much easier to get started with, then for those, I would keep it under 4 or 5 minutes long. For social media, usually 1 minute to 2 minutes is going to be best. And keep in mind on Twitter, you can't share a video longer than 2 minutes and 12 seconds total. What other questions, Amanda?
Lots of questions. There's a few about compliance, comments on YouTube, and kind of how to streamline things with compliance when you're trying to create video.
Yeah, that's great. So maybe what we should do is talk a little bit about the compliance process that we typically see people go through. So we'll go back up to this schedule and what I would suggest doing. So if you need to factor compliance in, I would suggest then batch recording your videos. So record 4 videos, let's say in one day. You can change out your shirt a couple times if you need to, or change the location, but batch record them. And then the best thing that you can do is create a transcript of that video. So the transcript is going to serve 2 purposes. Number 1, it's going to allow you to submit the transcript of the video to compliance. So rather than them having to just watch your video and then say at minute 2.1, you said this, right? You can give them the video to watch, but you can also give them the transcription, which is just the text file of what you said. And it's a lot easier for them to review that sometimes and give you their feedback on the video that way. So then that way you can send them the video as well as the transcription and have them, mark it up with any feedback. Now you may need to re-record it then if they come back and have feedback for you. So this is another reason why I highly suggest talking with your compliance officer first about if there's any no-no topics they 100% don't want you to record about. But also keep in mind that a lot of the best videos, have nothing to do with advice that is going to require compliance monitoring. It can be things just about creating a budget or, mental strategies for dealing with debt or the psychological impacts of, dealing with your finances or talking with your spouse about money and good strategies for that. So you can stay far away from topics that compliance is going to care about too, and still build a great YouTube channel. Amanda, do you want to talk a little bit about how we transcribe the video? Since I'm actually removed from that process, I think it'd be great for you to chat a little bit about that, and we can even show how we do it.
Yeah, for sure. You want me to share my screen and show people that? Sorry guys, I'm working with 2 screens here.
Yeah, since we've had a lot of people asking for transcriptions, Amanda's going to pull that up. And the tool that we use, Headliner, is also a great tool for adding captions. So
yeah, so this is Headliner. We actually use the free version. They do have paid options, which give you a lot more customizations. I know someone earlier in chat was asking about like adding graphics and overlays on top of your video. Some of that you can do within Headliner, but I believe it's in their paid plan. So we just use the free version, and it tends to work well for what we're doing for just transcribing and getting them formatted to share on social. So once you create your account, this is sort of the first option you'll see. You'll get to pick your orientation. So it even tells you which orientations are going to be best for which social media platforms. So Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, Square, obviously, and then, you know, this more portrait size is good for Instagram. If you're using TikTok or Snapchat, it's good for that too. So you pick your orientation. You're just going to upload that raw video file. So I've got one on my desktop that I'll upload here. Sometimes this can take a little bit of time, just depending on how large your video file is. But once it processes, what it's basically going to do is automatically transcribe the video for you. And you'll have the opportunity to go through the transcription. I always recommend like going through it at least, you know, really quickly, just to make sure there's no like major misspellings or typos. Keep in mind that it's AI powered, it's all computer generated, so it sometimes doesn't pick up on things and it can have weird spellings. So it's always a good idea to, you know, take a look at the transcripts before you publish anything. So we'll see how quickly this can upload.
And while we're waiting for that, a couple, you know, other people had asked about, like with the transcripts, using that on your, like if you're going to create a video blog, so a vlog as they're called, would you then just copy and paste that underneath the video on a landing page or on your website? So we'll show a couple examples here in a second, but I would actually not recommend that you just copy and paste the entire transcript word for word. You do want a good summary of the video so that YouTube can crawl the page. I'm sorry, Google can crawl the page. So the search bots, Google's crawlers, cannot crawl a video file, which means you are not going, any of the words you're saying are not going to automatically help your SEO of your website or your blog just by putting a video there. So you need to tell the search bot, you know, you need to tell Google what it's all about. So what you can do is create timestamps and summarize what your video is all about. So we'll show a good example of that here in a second, but you don't want to just completely copy and paste the transcription for that purpose.
Yeah, that's a good point. So this is what you'll kind of see once you get the video uploaded. So over here on the left will be your actual transcript. So it goes by timestamps. So you can scan through this, you can play each section through just to re-listen to it. But if you need to make changes to it, you know, you can simply click in the boxes, start typing, you can remove things, you can change things if there's misspellings, things like that. So it's pretty straightforward to pull the transcript and to add the subtitles if you're sharing on social media. And then once you're satisfied with it, you just click this blue export button and it'll send you an email once it's ready to go and ready for you to download. And you'll be able to download it as an MP4 file so you can use it wherever.
Perfect. So if you have any other questions about the transcription, let us know. But I think that is a really great primer just to get you started. So again, this is Headliner, and you can use Headliner to get the transcripts as well as add the captions. And adding captions to your video is incredibly important because people often will watch video on social media and they don't have the sound necessarily on. So you can add the captions using this tool as well.
Definitely.
Okay. Amanda, do you want to go into our YouTube channel now and show somebody? So once you've got your video ready to go, you're going to upload it like we mentioned, and let's just walk through what you want to do to best optimize your video for SEO and make sure the most people can find it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is YouTube Studio. I know a lot of you were asking about, you know, if this is free, how to get this. This is free, like Sam mentioned. If you have a Google account, your YouTube account is connected to your Google account. So you can see here that we're logged in with the 20/10 Google account. So once that video is uploaded, you'll see a screen like this with just a bunch of video details that you can customize. So first things first, you're gonna see your title. Obviously, this is kind of one of the most important pieces of it. It's really what's gonna capture people's attention, get them to watch your video. You've only got 100 characters max to use here, but we like to, always kind of keep in mind what's really gonna entice people, grab their attention, like I said, but also use any kind of keywords that we know people might be searching for or looking for within YouTube or within a Google search. And we also find, anytime you can use numbers within your titles, or questions as well, those sort of question-based formatted titles tend to perform really well as well. So you can see for this one, we've got 4 ways consumer behaviors are changing and 2 ways your business can adapt. So after your title, you kind of get into the bulk of your video description. So for us, we always like to add sort of just a brief introduction of what that video is going to be about. And then we also pop in a link here to get people to subscribe to our channel and to find us on Twitter. And then after that is where we paste in the video transcript. For something like a Loom or a Zoom webinar that you might be posting on YouTube, your transcript isn't really going to be applicable here. You've only got 5,000 characters, so there's no way you'd be able to transcribe an hour's worth of video and pop it in here. But if you're doing, short, like weekly tip videos or monthly tip videos, adding in that transcript is really going to help with your SEO. And kind of breaking it out like we have here into the different buckets or the different points that we're making within that video will really help as well. Also in your description, we recommend adding in links if you can. So you can see here we've got links to applicable blog posts from the 20/10 blog that either Samantha mentions in the video, or that would be good as additional reading. So sort of like, what should people be reading after the fact? What is sort of tied closely to the topic that Samantha's talking about in the video? So adding in those links and hashtags as well. So hashtags are another great way for your videos to be found in YouTube search. Our sort of recommendation and rule of thumb and what we do is we just add 3 hashtags to the very bottom of our description. And they should tie back to the topic that you're discussing. This video specifically was, related to COVID, so we were using hashtags for COVID. So we always add those hashtags in at the bottom. And just to kind of show you where those appear, we'll go back to our channel. All right, so those hashtags are going to show up right here above the actual title of your video. They're right here in blue. So someone can click these, and what's going to happen is it will show other videos that are tagged with those same hashtags. So if you're not sure what hashtags to use, always think about the topic of your video. And then you can also kind of look at what other people are doing, what other hashtags they're using that are ranking pretty high, and you can kind of piggyback on that as well. So let me go back to the studio and walk you guys through a few other quick tips.
And just while you're doing that, a couple people have asked like why we suggest YouTube over other platforms like a Vimeo. So the main reason is just that YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google. So why waste uploading any content to Vimeo where you're not going to get found when you can upload it to YouTube and maximize your ability to get more eyeballs on it, right? So if somebody's doing a search for something, how are consumers behaving differently since COVID, they could potentially find this video. just by searching that on Google. So that is why we recommend that you use YouTube. The only time we don't recommend using YouTube to embed a video somewhere is on a static page of your website. So if you're putting a video on the homepage of your website, for instance, and you want it to be very professional and sleek and you don't want more recommended videos to come up after, then yes, you could use something like a Vimeo to embed it that way. But anywhere else on your blog, for social media, you'll want to use YouTube so that you can maximize the benefits of content marketing.
Yeah, definitely. I did a little study on us because we were using Vimeo before we were heavily invested in YouTube, and the results since we moved over to YouTube were huge. So if anyone's interested in that data, I'd be happy to share it with you. I don't have it right now, but it's worked for us for sure. Okay, so after sort of your description here in the center, you're gonna have option to upload thumbnails. So YouTube's gonna automatically generate 4 thumbnails from you. They're just gonna pull from the video. Like Sam mentioned earlier, adding a thumbnail, a custom thumbnail is really, it's kind of like the cover of a book, right? It's really another kind of way that you're gonna entice people and get them to click and watch your video. So we use a tool like Canva to create our custom thumbnails. So this is our Canva account. And we've created sort of a few different templates that our team can pull from. And all, they've got different background colors that they can choose from, different texts that they can use. And all they're doing is coming in here and changing the text to be the title of the video that they're working on. And then they'll use a picture of Samantha most of the time. So those are, simple for them to come into Canva, kind of edit them up, export them, and then you can easily upload your own thumbnail into YouTube. So that's pretty straightforward. And the last piece over here down at the bottom that you're going to see that's important for search are going to be the tags. So the tags work similar to hashtags, but they're not as visible to a viewer. So they're a little bit more behind the scenes. For these, we typically recommend adding at least 10, usually no more than that. And you want them to be pretty specific to the video itself and the content that's in the video. But you can add some brand, tags in there as well. Like you see here, we've got our brand name in there. We have Samantha's name in there. But in this box, you just you start typing and you just kind of create your own tags. So it's not, it's not like YouTube is really going to give you recommendations on what tags to use. So
a good tip there, I think, is don't think about what terms you would use. Think about what terms your clients or potential clients would search for, right? So again, always thinking about the wording that others use, not what you or your peers or colleagues would use. And that's why I always recommend when you're writing down questions, writing them down using the language that the client asked you the question in. Write it down exactly. So if they say something like, how can I pay less taxes? Blah, blah, blah. Write that down. Don't write something like important tax saving strategies. Use the language that they use because that's how they're going to go to the search engine and just search for it. So you want to replicate that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that goes for even just titling your videos too, kind of keeping that in mind.
Yeah. Awesome. So if anyone has any questions about these please let us know. In the slide deck, sorry, we have all of these tips listed out. So they'll be easy for you to remember that way too. Do you want to pass it back over to me, Amanda? Yep. We had quite a few questions coming in. I was trying to answer them live. A lot of you mentioned that you cannot click on things in the chat box. So Zoom has updated their security settings. We are going to add all of the links that we give you, everything from the equipment links to our financial advisor's guide to YouTube, all of that good stuff. in the resources that we list out after the webinar. So don't worry about writing all of it down furiously or getting it right now. That will be sent out to you hopefully tomorrow. And that's something else that we suggest. So as you create content that's video content, anything that you reference, you want to put it in your replay. So this is what I was talking about, the Financial Advisor's Guide to YouTube. So we have this great resource guide for you that goes through everything that we're talking about, and we'll also send you the slide deck. But if you want to use video to create webinars, just let me show you this real quick. The strategy that we suggest that you use is twofold. So number one, you want to take the actual video, put it on YouTube, and then embed it, which I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second, in your actual blog or your website. But then we also suggest that you add the slide deck as well. So the slide decks that you're using, you can upload to LinkedIn SlideShare and then embed that. I don't know if this one actually is embedded in here. I think didn't do that one.
It should be at the very, very bottom.
It was at the bottom. I think this one's at the top. So you can see this is SlideShare. So we've embedded the slides right here. So again, now people can find you on SlideShare. They can find you on YouTube or via your blog. So you're just maximizing the potential SEO value of all of this. And then, oh, sorry, I clicked away too fast. Again, you can see with the timestamps, right? So we're listing out what is the question or the thing that we discussed and where can you get to it at. So if somebody comes to your blog and they've already watched the webinar, but they're just looking for something, they can come in here and scroll through and get, you know, that information. You can see the links to all the different resources that we mentioned. So that's how we would suggest adding it in here. Okay, so again, we've listed out all of our tips that we went through here. A couple things that I just wanted to show you really quickly. Number one, do not worry if right out of the gate you have no subscribers. You should still keep creating video, and this is why. So here's an example of a video that was uploaded to our channel back in 2017. And you can see over time the exponential nature of views, right? The views have started out not that much, and they just go up and up and up and up. And over time, over 56 different people subscribe to our YouTube channel from this video alone, right? So, but actually, let me make the second point. If you look down here, 96% of people who found and watched that video were not subscribed to our channel. So just because someone is subscribed to your channel doesn't mean they're going to watch every video. And just because you don't have a lot of subscribers doesn't mean you won't get a lot of views. So don't worry about the number of subscribers you have right out of the gate. That should not prevent you from creating great video. You can really build up a great following quickly over time, you know, just by putting out great content. So in terms of how to add the actual video to your website or your blog, let's focus on that next. So if you have a 20/10 website or you have an editor that allows you to do it like this, I'm going to show you what you would do. So you're going to go into your website. So here, let's say we're going to go into our blog, and we are going to come in here into content assist. So for those of you not familiar, this is 20/10's website platform, and within the website platform is something called Content Assist, which is really amazing content that is ghostwritten that you can add to any of the content to your website, and you can edit any of it as well. So let's say, you know, you worked with doctors or physicians, you know, you can customize the content. So let's say you recorded a video talking about these 4 areas of estate planning to review. So you like this article that we had for you, and you wanted to come in here and, spelling error, you want to come in here and update this content and add in a video that you've recorded. All you're going to do is right here, click this little insert video and copy and paste the URL. So let's pretend, since I'm not a financial advisor, that this is a video of me talking about estate planning. So all I'm going to do is up here at the top, I'm going to copy that URL, and now I'm going to go into the editor and paste in the URL and click insert. And as easy as that, the video is there. So this is also why it's important to have those really nice thumbnails. You can see that it pulled the thumbnail in as the preview image, right? So that is how you would add it to a blog post. And now it's going to be right here. And when I click it, we will see it beautifully right there on the page. So that's how you would add it to any blog post. If you wanted to add it to another section of your website, it'll be very similar in the process. Oops. You'll go to, your page. But what's really great about our platform is it's always going to match the layout. So you can see here we have 2 columns. So if I wanted to add that same video here, when I insert it, it's going to fit within the column width. So the great thing about the 20/10 platform is it makes it really, really easy to add video and completely match the layout of your site. Now, none of this is going to be published until you go through the compliance approval process, which is great. So you give your compliance officer time to review your video, make sure it's going to meet everything. And then you'll go over here to the publish step and submit your website for review. So if you are connected to a broker dealer who's using our back-end compliance tools called Providence, you would click send for review and they will get a notification that you've made an update that they need to review. If you are not connected to your broker dealer that way, then you will be given a PDF of everything that they need in order to get it reviewed. And then once they approve it, the site will be published. So nothing is published until they approve it. So that's how you would do it on the website side of things. Amanda, do we have any questions in chat about that?
Not that I'm seeing.
Okay. So that's how you would do it that way. Now, if you are using our Lead Pilot platform, which allows you to share content via email, social media, landing pages, 2 things I want to point out. Number 1, Lead Pilot does have video already in the platform that is out of the box video that is really great.
When the price of stocks and other assets drops due to loss of...
Right, so it's already done for you. You can still customize by creating a draft, the subject line. You can change any of these elements. You can come down here and, add whatever text you want. So those videos are already made for you. And those ones you can use right out of the box or go back in and, add other edits to it. But let's say there is a piece of content that you want to add your own video to, or you want to use Lead Pilot to start actually generating leads off of your content, right? So what I see a lot of people do is they create a good video and they publish it to YouTube, but they don't have an easy way to put it on a landing page and add a call to action at the bottom of the video. So they're not able to start generating actual leads off the video in an easy way. What Lead Pilot allows you to do is come in and create a landing page for every video that you have. So now you're not just throwing the video up, on YouTube and hoping and praying someone will get in touch with you. You're actually doing the exact same thing that we just showed you here, which is embedding the video easily in a landing page. And then at the bottom of all of ours, you see we have this beautiful call to action, right? So, whether in this example, it's content is king, get the details of how we're offering advisors access to Lead Pilot for 30 days, which by the way, we are still doing this through June 1st, right, Amanda? So you have a couple more days. If you want to try Lead Pilot out, I know I'm going through this really fast. You can sign up and get access to the entire platform, including all of the content free for 30 days. There's no special coupon or anything. Once you sign up, you enter your credit card. It'll say it's a 7-day free trial, but through June 1st, all trials are extended to 30 days. So you can play around with the platform. It's just leadpilot.io. You click get started, you fill out the account, and you'll get a 30-day free trial. And as long as you cancel by the 30th day, you wouldn't be charged if for some reason you wanted to cancel your account. But again, you can capture so much more leads by creating these custom content, right? So let's say, again, I want to embed that same video. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to embed the video. I can say something, I could do a screenshot up here of the video, or, add in some other sort of beautiful image. Let's pretend this image was one that promoted the video, and say something like, oops. So we have the title, we have a great image to promote it, we've got the video, and then because all of the content, when you upload it into LeadPilot, is automatically added to a pre-made landing page. So when you first get set up with us, we'll help you create a landing page that has your logo, that has a button for your website, that has your picture with your name on the bottom. You don't have to do anything. Like, look at that, how fast that was, right? I uploaded the video, and I quickly added at the top there, I have too many screens in my way. I quickly added at the top there this picture, and that's it. Now, when I want to start sharing, I can share this link and start collecting people's information, getting people to book on my calendar. It's so much easier to collect the leads off of these landing pages when you want to promote that content. So when you want to email it out to people and things like that. So this is a really great option if you are wondering, you know, hey, I want to do what you guys are doing and build out these great landing pages where I can include timestamps and have the video and have calls to action, but I can't do all that and I don't have the time. I saw a bunch of comments coming through. I'm a one-person shop. I don't have time to do that. Check out LeadPilot. If you, like, again, if you sign up before June 1st, you just go to leadpilot.io. You can get started, create an account, and we offer free onboarding sessions where we'll help you set up your template. And honestly, just for that purpose alone, this platform would be worth its weight in gold. It's a really easy way to start capturing people from those landing pages. Now, you could also, what I've seen a couple people do that I think is great, if you're wondering what kind of content should I, you know, use, what should I create content on, come in here. You can filter content by all different topics. So maybe you only want to work with business owners, or you only want to work with people about retirement. You could come in and start creating videos where you're just talking about these topics. So now you already have essentially the transcript, right? So maybe you want to create a video on, can you still retire? How is COVID affecting retirement plans right now? Come in, read the article, and then make these things your talking points. The fact that, you know, the government is waiving required minimum distributions. There's now the option for penalty-free 401k and IRA withdrawals. You can make these your talking points, record a video about it, and then before you share the video or after you upload it to YouTube, come in here again and just add in the video. Pretend this is your beautiful video you created, and now you're ready to go. You already have all the talking points. Boom. So easy, you guys. It's life-changing. So if there's any questions about that, please let us know. I see a lot of questions still coming in, but that's how you would add it to a landing page or your website if you're using 20/10's products. We will keep answering questions. I know we're at the top of the hour. I feel like we might need a video marketing 102 class for all of the questions. So we can always do that. We can send all of you who registered for this one a follow-up webinar to go into more detail about YouTube and paid ads. So if you like that idea, raise your hand and we can add that. Oh, I'm getting lots of hand raises. There's so many questions that my whole screen is filled with raised hands. Amanda, were there other questions that popped out to you that we should address before we hang up for the people that are still on? Oh, a couple things, people asking about like getting help. So we don't expect you to do all this and figure this out all on your own. We do offer a marketing coaching program through LeadPilot you can sign up for as well. It's honestly super affordable. It's $24.99 for the whole year. So less than $2,500 for the whole year. And you get to meet with our marketing coach once a month and they will help you use the power of LeadPilot. So definitely consider that if you want someone to really implement it for you and help give you strategic guidance. I got a lot of questions in the private Q&A about my audio, saying my audio sounded really good. I just got a brand new MacBook Pro, and the day I got it, Amanda told me the audio was amazing. Yeah. So if you're really looking to getting into video, I mean, honestly, I think that's a great way to go too. I think you guys can all see the camera's really clear and clean, and the audio sounds great. You know, technology's come a long way. You don't need all these crazy setups that massive publishing companies have. Use the tools available to you. And it's a business expense. You can get a new computer, write it off. Okay. Thank you for everyone saying they're using Lead Pilot and loving the content. For all of you Lead Pilot users, I think just based on the feedback you're getting, maybe we'll set up a tutorial on how to embed video into Lead Pilot, other ideas we have for how to take the content and make it your own so that you can maximize the value that you're getting out of that. Okay, I think that's all the time we have for today. Let me just leave you with two things. Number one, if you like the tips, but you feel, again, a little bit overwhelmed and you just want help, I cannot stress enough that we would suggest that you go to 20over10.com.
If you spent any time in the last couple of years trying to...
What happens when you have it on autoplay? Go to 20over10.com and click on schedule a one-on-one demo. I can just show you that really quickly and schedule a time to talk with our team, right? It's what we're here for, is to help you, and we can talk about how we can help you get through all of this and what services you can outsource to our team. So that's right here. Click that button. I will say, I don't want you to be frustrated. We have seen an overwhelming response of people wanting to work with us since the pandemic started and everything has moved digital. So our team is booked out, I think, for those consultations about 10 days. So if you're interested and you want to do it as soon as possible, click the button against everybody else who's on this webinar so you can be one of the first to get on our team's calendar. The second thing is, if you haven't already, I don't know why you wouldn't, you can see all the value we're providing. Head over to the 20over10 YouTube channel and subscribe so that you get notified every time we drop a new video. You can also subscribe to the 20over10 blog so that you're on our mailing list. So every time we do new webinars like this, you get the invite. So that is right here. You would subscribe right there. And then the last thing that I highly suggest is, I love seeing all your videos. And if I see a video that you have done, I will like it, I will comment on it. A lot of you will message me saying thank you. So if you go to LinkedIn and search Samantha C. Russell and connect with me there, and then tag me when you post a video or comment on it, I will be happy to help you get some more engagement on your content. So please, please, please connect with me and let me know whenever you are posting so that I can see it, because I get so proud when every time an advisor that we work with gets, or that I just know gets started with video marketing. All right, Amanda, thank you so much for coming out from behind the scenes and helping out and showing us all of that YouTube magic today.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks.
Great. I guess you're going to have to come back because people are asking for Video Marketing 102.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Thanks.